Welcome to Size Eyes tonight. We have a very exciting show coming up tonight. Wait, is this real? And now this.
Thanks, Caleb. So we have had a pretty warm day, 60s pretty much across the entire state. I'll have more coming up and what to expect in the next coming days.
Thank you, Benji. The prompter is now working just fine. Thank you, Natalie. All that and much more is this Tuesday, April 23rd edition of Size Eyes on the Sky starts right now. Stay tuned.
Live from Studio 171 in Ames, Iowa, the Iowa State Meteorology Department team of meteorologists brings you the latest weather from around the country and out your front door. Iowa State's longest running television program and the only live weather broadcast on campus starts right now. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Welcome back to Size Eyes. I'm now joined by Benji. Well, Benji, the weather is really turning for the better recently.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm in the morning, but it's been a little chilly in the mornings. You know, it's kind of in that phrase where you don't really know exactly how to dress. Like you leave in sweatshirt and pants, and then you are like sweating. You need to be in shorts and a t-shirt in the afternoon.
I thought today was really the absolute perfect day, about 66 degrees in the afternoon, maybe in the mid-40s in the morning, but it turned out just nice.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. Like currently temperatures in the 60s pretty much across the entire state with the exception of 58 here in Burlington, 65 in Mason City, but mid to upper 60s throughout the entire country. But will these temperatures continue? I'll have more coming up later in the show.
And now we have a unique story tonight. Not a history lesson. Instead, last week on Wednesday, April 17, 2019, my meteorology class almost went storm chasing together with our professor, Dr. Bill Gallus. Shout out to Dr. Bill Gallus. However, only a few of my classmates actually went out storm chasing, as the parameters really got a lot worse and worse as the event got closer and closer. When you want a storm chase, usually that means you want to see tornadoes out in the field. Now, a few people like Kyle Hugeback, Sam Luthai, Mary, Natalie Trout in the background here, all went storm chasing. Sorry. But I'm not sure they saw anything, as it was a complete bust. So, don't get too hyped for the first storm chase, basically. We're only in mid-April. Most tornadoes in Iowa, I believe, happen in May and June. So we all need to keep our cool a little bit and be level-headed as we evaluate model results and different severe weather parameters. But anyway, I'm sure we'll get a lot more of that action coming up in Iowa pretty soon, so stay tuned to that. And now let's toss it to the awesome Anthony for your national forecast.
Thank you, Caleb, for that great personal anecdote. It was a great storm chasing day last week. Right now, temperatures and conditions across the country are very nice for most of us. Taking a look here at our map, temperature map, 65 in Minneapolis, 56 in Kansas City. You can see a pretty clear divide with the temperatures here, and that's due to some fronts that are hanging out, being kind of stubborn. There is severe weather for portions of the Dallas and Texas area. I'll let you know who gets in on this coming up next in my full forecast.
Welcome back to our show tonight. Now, thank you for coming back. So I know the iCubs are on right now as well, but we'll get you out there right after our show. Now, here's Anthony with a look at what's happening around the nation. Anthony, tell me some good news.
Thank you, Caleb. Yeah, for most of us, it is good news and quiet across the country. Midwest, we are nice and dry off towards the Ohio Valley, and it's actually getting kind of cut off right here. There is a slight risk of severe storms down in the sort of Dallas area, central to western portions of Texas. Watches and warnings right now, and you can see that as I zoom in down here. Severe thunderstorm watch in this pink right here. There are some severe thunderstorms, though, ongoing north of San Angelo right here in these kind of orangish boxes and back towards the west. Flash flood watches off toward the east there. So expect some gusty winds with these, potentially some very large hail. Tornadoes not a huge threat tonight, but still bears watching for sure. Here's our satellite and radar. San Angelo, like I said, there's these storms right here pushing their way off to the east. They're really racing along. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex couple showers and storms for your area, but I don't think the severe weather will be a huge deal for your area. Back across the country, temperatures, though, are pretty comfortable. 56 in Kansas City, and on the other side of these boundaries right here, front, 74 in Memphis, 79 in Atlanta. A very comfortable day across the Midwest here. I saw lots of people out hammocking today here in Iowa. 66 degrees in Des Moines, 56 in Kansas City, 71 for you in Rapid City, so a very nice seasonable night across most of the country. 73 in Albany. Good evening to you in Buffalo. A little bit cooler at 46, so you're probably going to be wanting to bundle up there in the north. 80 degrees in Montgomery, 78 in Tampa. A nice, beautiful day down toward the south. And off towards the west, 86 in Las Vegas. A little bit cooler, Cedar City at 65. And those nice temperatures continue for the northwest with some very seasonable temperatures. So all in all, I'd say it's a pretty good forecast right now across most of the country. Here's our futurecast, what you can expect going forward. Here's Tuesday at 6:30. You can see those showers and storms down towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area, pushing their way through central Texas, working their way east. Most of the Midwest should remain dry with just a couple high clouds remaining around. And then this will all push its way off toward the east. St. Louis, by Wednesday morning, your rush hour drive heading to work and school could be a little wet. Make plans for that. And then potentially some stronger storms, Dallas, Thursday, very early in the morning, off toward the Ohio Valley, with us kind of in between systems here in the Midwest before we get a nice little clipper system that comes through, bringing us some more rain for Chicago, St. Louis, and then back off to the west clouds, and just kind of a nice forecast for you. Here is our extended forecast for Forks, Washington. I'm sure there are people living there. We want to include you, so take a look here at our forecast. 58 degrees on Wednesday, 62 on Thursday with some clouds. Lows in the upper 30s to 40s, and by the time we hit next week, highs should be pretty comfortable with sun in the low 60s.
Thank you, Anthony. I think next time the national forecasting needs to be spoons somewhere, just so that they're not left out with forks. But anyway, Natalie, I won't go off script this time. When was the last major flood event in Ames? If I can see the answers, that'll be nice. Is it A, 2005, B, 2006, C, 2007, or D, 2010? Now, this is very appropriate as we start to get towards the spring and summer rains. Flash flooding can be one of the major leading causes of death. Sorry. And we'll have that answer coming up after the next forecast. So what's going on, Benji, across the state of Iowa tonight?
I'm going to do that when it's on its main weather.
And we'll go to Benji pretty soon.
Thank you, Caleb. So it will be pretty sunny. We will experience a few cooler temperatures from this weekend, and we did have a beautiful Easter weekend, but I'll have more coming up. Welcome back to Size Eyes. I'm meteorologist Benji Weiberg. Like you have experienced, we have had 60 degrees pretty much all throughout the state, with highs very warm today, pretty much shorts and t-shirt in my book across the state. And as we continue on, we are here we go. Current conditions here in Ames specifically, 65 degrees with a light breeze out of the east at 6 miles an hour, with which cools us down a little bit and usually tells us that a rain is usually going to come. But we've had a clear, sunny day with a couple clouds near Ottumwa in Iowa. Nothing really extreme to report from the from the country. We have had some pretty warm temperatures, pretty similar to what we've had now, 60s throughout the whole country, a little bit warmer in Carroll at 81. But here's the futurecast, where we do have some rain coming in the next couple days. A little bit cloudy tonight, but a little clipper coming in through southeast Iowa. Ottumwa, you should get some showers. Des Moines, you might get a tiny sprinkle, but nothing to worry about. And then as we advance, a beautiful Wednesday on tap, but Thursday is in the morning. We do have some rain near Sioux City, and that will move in throughout the state. So throughout the entire state, you should expect some rain. Beautiful Friday on tap, but Saturday we do have some clouds moving in and a bigger chance for rain that'll cover the entire state. At Saturday morning at about 6:30 in the morning, Carroll will just start to get rain and clouds throughout the whole country, or throughout the whole state, and as the rain moves on throughout the entire day on Saturday. But, and then we do have some flooding out there, usually along all the rivers. Pretty much the entire Mississippi is under a flood warning right now, so be careful. Take your flooding precautions if you're near a river, but if you're not near a river, you shouldn't have anything to currently worry about. But for tonight, we do have some clearing skies. It does get down to 41, so if you're out and about tonight, you probably want to put on an extra sweatshirt or pants just to keep warm throughout the night. But for tomorrow, pretty similar to today. It's going to be a little cloudy in the morning, but sunny throughout most of the day. High of 71 degrees with a little bit stronger of a wind. But for this, and then as we continue on to our full 7-day forecast, we do have 70s throughout Wednesday and Thursday, rain this weekend, and storms at the beginning of next week.
And I enjoy the weather, but hopefully we're not going back in time as well. All right, back to the trivia question here. When was the last major flood event to really impact Ames and Iowa State University? Is it A, 2005, B, 2006, C, 2007, or D, just 9 years ago in 2010?
I'm leaning towards 2010 on this, guys. It seems like we're kind of in a flood-prone area, and so I think it would be probably sooner rather than later, more recent. So
Right, the whole Iowa State Center, Hilton Coliseum, Jack Trice Stadium, you know, the Stevens Auditorium buildings are all on the Squaw Creek floodplain.
Oh, wow.
That's
not a
true.
great
I'm probably going to go with 2006. It seems like it was a little bit earlier. We haven't had any major flooding events since I've been here, so I'm going to go leaning towards 2006.
All right, well, let's see what the right answer is. If we can advance the slide. And the answer is D, 2010, yeah. So both 2010 and 1993 were two of the biggest floods in Ames most recently, but right. Iowa, just in general, can be flood prone with all the rivers running towards the Mississippi or the Missouri.
It seems like it. I know in the past year since I've been here, we've had not major necessarily flooding, but we've had a couple incidents where dumpsters have been pushed off their foundation and crazy stuff like that. So yeah.
One of my favorite memories of Iowa State was when I was a sophomore back in 2016, and we had over 5 inches of rain about 2 or 3 hour span one night. I remember people getting on their mattresses and floating down the rivers, kind of like rafting on the streets. I mean, not very safe. Not approved by me, at least. But that
Sounds
definitely
fun
happened.
though, like just get to class, just row a boat to class, something I've never done before. But
you got to get
that'd
to
be
Class.
fun.
They tell us to get to class, so it's one of the ways
Yeah,
to do it.
I mean, Dave Flory is always one of those people that's like, you have to go to class no matter what. So, if you gotta canoe down to class, you gotta do what you gotta do.
We'll be to Dave's 301 class.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Any rain coming up this week, Benji? Anything?
We got a couple clippers coming through, but nothing too extreme to
Clippers,
worry about.
they should a word for snow. Alberta Clippers. No snow though. When
No,
you said
no
40,
snow.
41 degrees, it's getting pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's chilly in the night, but in the day it's just beautiful and warm, and sometimes it's hard to dress at this time of day, but at this time of year. But you gotta figure out a way to get through it, and then you can just get into the summer and you'll be shorts and t-shirt the whole time.
We're dealing with that kind of transition season where you can get some severe storms and stuff, but then you get days where it's just absolutely beautiful outside. So I'm looking forward to that personally.
April is a great month, especially when Easter happens twice. And with that, let's conclude tonight's show. Please be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on our Twitter accounts. You can find every show on our YouTube channel under our Size Eyes on the Skies account. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Thursday for our final show of the year with our seniors. That's going to be really exciting. Make sure you tune in. Final show of the year. Good night.
Have a good night.